Romain Rolland was born in France on January 29, 1866, in a small town called Plaimsy, which is located in the center of the country. His family was not wealthy, but they valued education deeply. Romain's father worked as a doctor, and his mother was a talented musician. They both encouraged Romain to study hard and learn as much as he could. Romain was a very curious child, and from a young age, he loved to read books. He would often read stories, not just for fun, but also to understand the world around him. His family was supportive of his love for learning, and this played an important role in shaping the person he would become. As a young boy, Romain showed great interest in art, music, and literature. His mother taught him to play the piano, and he grew up surrounded by music. He was also fascinated by the stories he read about great artists, thinkers, and musicians. His favorite composer was Ludwig van Beethoven, whose music deeply inspired him. As he learned more about the world, Romain developed a strong belief that art could change people's lives for the better. He believed that art had the power to bring people together, help them understand each other, and create a more peaceful world. This idea would become a central theme in his own writing later in life. When Romain was older, he moved to Paris to continue his studies. He enrolled at the famous École Normale Supérieure, where he studied history, literature, and philosophy. While studying in Paris, Romain became friends with many other students who also loved books and ideas. He spent a lot of time discussing politics, art, and history with them. During these years, Romain decided that he wanted to become a writer. He felt that writing could be his way to change the world and share his beliefs with others. He wanted to write stories and books that would help people understand each other and build a better world based on friendship and peace. After finishing his studies, Romain Rolland became a teacher. He worked at several universities in France, and also spent some time teaching in other countries, such as Italy and Germany. He enjoyed teaching, but he also felt that he needed to continue writing to share his ideas with a larger audience. He began writing books about many different topics, including history, literature, and art. He was particularly interested in the lives of famous musicians and artists. He wanted to understand what made these people special and how their work had influenced the world. One of Romain Rolland's most famous books is called Jean Christophe. The novel tells the story of a young musician named Jean Christophe, who is passionate about making music that touches people's hearts. As Jean Christophe tries to follow his dreams, he faces many difficulties and challenges. He has to deal with personal struggles, problems with friends and family, and the pressures of life as an artist. However, through it all, Jean Christophe stays true to his love for music and his belief in the power of art to connect people. Jean Christophe is a long and complex book, and it took Romain Rolland many years to complete. The novel was first published in parts, starting in 1904, and it became very popular. It was praised for its deep exploration of the life of an artist and the struggles that come with pursuing one's passion. The book was also admired for its portrayal of the power of friendship and the importance of connecting with others. Romain Rolland used the character of Jean-Christophe to explore many of the ideas he had about art, life, and human nature. In the book, he showed that although life can be difficult and full of obstacles, it is possible to overcome these challenges by staying true to one's beliefs and working hard to achieve one's goals. Romain Rolland's works often focused on larger themes, such as the search for truth, the importance of human connections, and the struggle for peace. He was deeply concerned about the state of the world, especially during the years of World War I. When the war began in 1914, Romain Rolland was very upset. He could not understand why nations would fight each other and cause so much suffering. He believed that war was pointless and that it was up to artists and intellectuals to show people a better way of solving problems. During the war, Romain Rolland spoke out against the violence and encouraged people to think about ways to create peace instead of war. He believed that artists had a special responsibility to help guide society toward a better future. Romain Rolland's work was also influenced by his travels. He traveled to many different countries during his life, and he was particularly interested in India. In the early 20th century, India was struggling for independence from British rule, and many Indian leaders were calling for peace and justice. Romain Rolland became friends with several important figures in India, including Mahatma Gandhi. He admired Gandhi's peaceful way of life and his commitment to fighting for the rights of the poor. Gandhi believed in using nonviolence to achieve social and political change, and Romain Rolland saw this as a powerful example of how people could work together to create a better world. Through his travels and his friendships with people like Gandhi, Romain Rolland learned that the struggles of people in different countries were not so different after all. He believed that people everywhere shared the same hopes, dreams, and fears. He thought that if people could recognize these common feelings, they could work together to solve the world's problems. This belief in the power of human connection was central to Romain Rolland's writing and his philosophy of life. He encouraged people to look beyond national borders and to think of themselves as part of a larger global community. In 1915, Romain Rolland was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. This was a huge honor and recognition of his work as a writer. The Nobel Prize Committee praised his ability to capture the complexities of the human spirit in his writing. Romain Rolland's works had been read by many people around the world, and he became one of the most respected authors of his time. However, even after winning such a prestigious award, Romain Rolland remained humble. He continued to write books and give speeches, always focused on the ideas he cared most about: the importance of peace, the power of art, and the need for understanding between people. In his later years, Romain Rolland became more and more concerned with the challenges facing the world. He was especially worried about the rise of dictatorships and the possibility of another world war. He spoke out against these dangers and warned people to be careful about the forces of hate and violence. Romain Rolland believed that the only way to avoid more wars and suffering was for people to work together and build a world based on cooperation and friendship. He also believed that art could play an important role in this process, by helping people to see each other's humanity, and to understand each other better. Romain Rolland died on December 30, 1944, at the age of 78. Although he had passed away, his ideas continued to live on in his writings and the people he had inspired. His books were read by many generations, and his message of peace, friendship, and the power of art remained an important part of his legacy. Today, many people still read his works, and they continue to be moved by his vision of a better world. Romain Rolland's life shows us that one person can make a difference, and that by following our passions, caring for others, and working for peace, we can help create a better future for all. Romain Rolland's legacy is one of hope and belief in the power of human connection. He reminds us that even in difficult times, we can find strength in friendship, art, and the belief that we are all part of the same global community. His life and work encourage us to think about how we can make the world a better place, and to believe that through cooperation and understanding, we can achieve peace. Romain Rolland may have lived many years ago, but his ideas are still important today. His story continues to inspire people all over the world to strive for a better, more peaceful future.